Well, joining me now to talk a little bit more about this, Simon Rosenberg is a former Clinton campaign advisor and the president and founder of NDN, and Matt Schlapp is the chairman of the American Conservative Union. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks, Heather.
So I know you were both listening along with us there, what Sean Spicer had to say. He repeated again today that the goal of the temporary plan, his words, is to make sure that people aren't doing us harm, taking proper and necessary steps to protect our people. So, Matt, what do you think will happen this evening?
Well, boy, the Ninth Circuit is, you were correct to report, as John was, this is the most liberal circuit in the nation. So I don't know what they'll do. I never know what these judicial activists will do. But I think it's important to know that the underlying policy will continue to go through the court system. And I think the politics is on Donald Trump's side and on the Republican side. This is actually very common sense policy to look at the travel and the immigration coming from these terrorist countries, these T7 countries, the countries where you really can't do business from an American perspective or get licenses because terrorism is such a big problem. So I think over time, this is a very positive issue for President Trump.
And Simon, Matt just mentioned something that President Trump said himself earlier today. He said that this is common sense. He said in terms of the travel ban itself, the temporary ban, they are prepared to take it through the system. But you don't think that's the right thing to do?
No, I think the most important thing to realize is that the president's power in immigration is not unlimited. I mean, if you look what happened with Barack Obama, he did an executive order on immigration late in 2014. It was blocked by a single judge in its implementation across the entire country for 2 years, and it never went into effect. So we've already seen that a single judge can block the implementation of a president's executive order on immigration. And so the argument, much of the argument Sean Spicer just made is just simply wrong and false and not responsive even to the last major case that we just had on this in the last 2 years.
And we heard Secretary John Kelly speaking out today. You just heard Sean Spicer. Some folks are saying that the President Trump, needs to come out himself and do a better job of explaining why, in fact, this is a threat to national security and we need this. Here's what Laura Ingraham had to say earlier today on that.
The president should come out, I think, and make the case for why this is in the nation's interest. He didn't do that. And I think a lot more people would be open to this idea. You might even get a few Democrats on your side. If the president goes to the nation and say, this is why this is important.
Exactly.
We welcome immigrants. Of course, most Muslims around the world are welcome here. We welcome people from all over the globe. But this is about you and your safety.
So, Matt, do you think that that would help?
Yeah, I agree with Laura, as I do on most things. I think if you look at the decision to pick Neil Gorsuch to be his nominee for the Supreme Court and the way that was rolled out, it was just pitch perfect. They had months to think about it. I think usually presidents sign off executive orders on their first day in office because there is a little bit of a chaos and you want to flood the zone. But I think on these big policy questions, you have to have a separate strategy to roll them out to make sure they have their greatest effectiveness. I mean, Heather, Americans are busy. They don't have time to consume all the news they need to understand these things. And you have to give the American people time to digest what's trying to get accomplished. I think they're with this policy. They'll be for it in the end.
Yeah, we heard Sean Spicer mention their poll. He said 67% of people agree with it, the ban itself. One final word from you, Simon.
Sure. I think, Sean Spicer said the president is trying to reassure the American people that he's taking steps to keep them safe. I think a bit of advice for the president, it would be smart for him to praise the Department of Homeland Security and the tens of thousands of folks who've worked to keep us safe. We've had no foreign fighter attacks in the United States in the last 15 years. It's an amazing accomplishment. I'm proud of the folks that have kept us safe. We can still do a better job, but it would be smart, I think, for them to praise the people that are working every day to keep us safe, as he's doing with the military. Do the same with the Department of Homeland Security. They've done a good job.
And going back to the rollout that Matt was talking about, Secretary John Kelly said, quote, "It's all on me." He took full responsibility for the issues that have come about as a result of it. Thank you both for joining us today on this very busy day. Appreciate it.
Thanks.